Dealing with the end of the world anxiety. What's going on, people? My name is Zulfikar and welcome to my YouTube channel, which is about self-improvement and helping you see past the lies and the deceit of this degenerate society. Please click the subscribe button so you receive more content. Now, I've done quite a few videos about the end times, the end of the world and prophecies, and if you haven't seen those videos, make sure you go and watch them because they are very interesting, if I do say so myself. But one of the knock-on effects, one of the unintentional consequences has been that this type of stuff creates panic, it creates stress, it creates anxiety. Now, I'm not saying I'll be the cause of that because my videos just have not had enough views. Other people are suffering from this. They're feeling the stress, they're feeling the panic, they're feeling the anxiety of what's happening around the world. Now, when you go down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories and end of the world prophecies and doomsday scenarios, it can become a very lonely journey, and it can increase the amount of stress and panic and distress. And a lot of people are feeling that. And I've had a few interesting conversations in private. People are struggling, they're stressed, they don't know what to do, and this video is for you because it's important to remember that it really doesn't matter, and it's not about getting panicked, it's not about becoming anxious and stressed, it's not about panicking, it's about keeping your head and making sure you're doing what you need to do. Now look, it's good to be aware of what's happening in the world. It's not good to get consumed into paralysis with what's happening in the world, and that's what you need to remember. Always be building. There is no other way. Build yourself, build your family, build your community. And just remember, doomsday scenarios are evergreen. They've been in existence since the dawn of civilization. Every generation goes through this. Every generation talks about the end of the world. It's just something that's happened forever. So please keep that in mind. And ultimately, you've got to remember, most of this stuff is unconfirmed, it's conjecture, it's speculation. That means there is a high chance that nothing will actually transpire. So it does not serve you to think of the worst. It does not serve you to be crippled into paralysis and to stress yourself out to the point where you can no longer think and go about your daily activities. And one other thing is to remember, look, just ask yourself, what is the worst that can happen? What is the worst thing that can happen? And the worst thing that can happen is death. Death is something you are going to face regardless. Death is an inevitability. So you can't really fear death because it's going to happen anyway, and therefore any end of the world type scenario is not going to change that fact. It's going to happen anyway. So really, what is the worst that can happen? Nothing. That's going to happen anyway. Now, you might have a different kind of fear, like I've had people in the DM saying, well, I'm happy to, obviously whatever happens to me will happen to me, but I'm worried about what would happen to my children. But again, you got to remember, that is a concern that every parent has anyway, and it's got nothing to do with end of the day doomsday scenarios. Every parent has this fear of what would happen to their children if they're not here. And the most important thing to remember is to not give in to fear. Do not give into despair, because the evil people on the planet and these satanic forces, that's what they want. They want you to live in a constant state of fear. They want you to live in a constant state of despair. Remember, despair is from the devil. If you believe in God, you believe in hope. If you are in a state of despair, then you're not following the guidance given to you by God. You're falling prey to the influence of the devil. And really start to ask yourself, question yourself, why are you looking into these things? Why are you doing the research? Why are you following these things? Because it's not about getting stressed, it's not about getting depressed, it's about finding out the reasons why you are looking into these things. Now for me it's different because I have a genuine passion and a genuine interest in these topics. Like, I've always been fascinated by this idea of prophecy and destiny, and if you've seen the video about free will versus determinism, go ahead and watch that. You'll see that, you know, this is a question that has plagued my mind for a long time. But even before doomsday scenarios, like, I read stories and watch videos, and they are, you know, watch movies. These are my favorite types of stories and content. Like, one of my favorite authors is David Gemmell, not sure how to pronounce it, but he has this series about Just the Legend, the Drenai series, and it's all about prophecies. It's all about heroes coming from nothing and fulfilling their destinies and fulfilling their prophecies. So this is a genuine interest of mine, and that's why I look into it. It's not because I'm panicked and scared and you know, losing my head. It's because I have a genuine interest in these things. So if you don't have a genuine interest and there's no other reason for you to look into these things except get spooked, then it's probably better for you to avoid these topics, because if it's not serving you, then there's no point you delving deeper and deeper, because it should not affect the quality of your life to the extent where you're unable to do anything and you're unable to function. Another thing for me is that I've spoken about this at some length. Like, I went through the conditioning and the programming of, you know, getting a degree, becoming a professional and having a professional job, which, you know, that lifestyle didn't work for me. And then I did the opposite of starting my own businesses and going down the entrepreneurship route, and again that didn't work for me. And for me, the most important thing was focusing on my faith, focusing on my religion, the religion of Islam, and these topics are helping me with that endeavor. The more I look into these topics, the more I see these prophecies, the more I learn about the predictions, and even though, you know, most of them might not be correctly interpreted by me, what they are in fact doing is helping me increase my faith. They're helping me to go back to my religion, they're helping me go back to what I consider important, and they are helping me in my prayers, they are helping me in my, you know, consciousness of God. If you haven't watched my video about the purpose of life, please make sure you go ahead and watch that, because that will give you an indication of my philosophy, and it's a philosophy that will help you. The purpose of life is to worship God, and part of worshiping God is to know God, to be a guardian of God on earth, and to be conscious of God at all times. And knowing God means to know yourself, to know this world as it is, and to know the next world as it is. And knowing yourself basically means becoming the best version of yourself, and knowing this world is, you know, knowing it so that you can become a caretaker and to be of service to other people. And knowing the next world is to understand that your soul and spirit lives on whilst your material body dies, and the strength of your soul solely depends on your actions, intentions, deeds, and your character. So when I look into these things, it's not about getting depressed. It's an opportunity for me to develop spiritually and to purify my soul and do the works that I need to do, which is bettering myself, which is being of service to other people, which is being helpful to my family, and taking care of business in this world whilst increasing my faith and purifying my soul and returning to the Creator in a fashion that will be desirous in the world to come. In short, the antidote for me is to believe in God, is to improve myself, is to improve my family, and be of service to other people. Nothing else matters. And in the meantime, I will connect and network with other like-minded people, because ultimately that's what life is about. And if we are to do something about becoming evil, it's going to come from this network and this community that we create in opposing the satanic plan which they wish to implement. So once again, remember, despair is from the devil. If you believe in God, you believe in hope. So keep yourself in a state of hope and not in a state of despair. Let me know what you think about the contents of this video. Let me know how you're feeling generally with what's happening around the world. Let me know if you found value in this video, and if you did, please like and share it with other people. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.